That's like higher level shit, you know?
Literally, like in the sky, that level.
Jonesy and Ray, just wondering.
Welcome back to Just Wondering podcast, where we will surprise each other with whatever topics come to mind. We literally know nothing and have made a rule to never research before recording. So buckle up.
We're your hosts. I'm Jones.
And I'm Ray.
And Ray, I was just wondering about aeroplanes. They're very big and very confusing to me because I do not understand how they exist.
I understand how they exist. I don't understand how they fly.
Okay, yeah. Fair point.
Yes.
I mean, if we go down to the nitty gritty of it, I don't actually understand how anything exists based on how things are made. But
Or like even if we do exist.
But I don't understand how planes fly. Like I get it's like turbo engines, but I just think like how can this like exceptionally heavy metal box float through the air at astronomical speeds? It's not astronomical because it's not
Incredible
speeds, very fast,
speeds.
quick.
Well, an airplane can't take off from a standstill.
Okay, yeah, that's why you go on the runway.
So you have to first gain momentum, and then there's something called lift, which like makes a lot of sense because like
it's getting lifted.
Yeah.
Like what does that mean?
I don't know, but you know when you're about to take off and you're like going along and you kind of sometimes it doesn't get like the full lift off right away and you can feel it kind of like bumping along for a couple seconds before it takes off. Because I think on the wings there's like a little thing that kind of opens up a bit.
Oh, so like when it's going so fast the air catches under it maybe and like lifts it up a little bit. Good thing we're not engineers, eh? They're so big just flying through the sky. And I mean, I've been on the biggest airplanes, like the ones that are like 2 floors and have like bedrooms. And I saw a video once of a plane that had a pool in it.
No way.
Yeah. And I was like, you gotta be rich for this. Unless it was like they tricked me and it wasn't actually a plane, but it was like on Instagram.
And it was flying with the water in it. Like you could swim in it while it was flying, or it was like when it was grounded, it was like then a pool.
It was like in the plane they had a pool area.
And the pool could be filled and used while the plane was flying.
I think so.
Wow. I really apparently know nothing at all about planes. Cool.
I think that those planes only fly like really long distances.
But like,
I don't.
How far? Because like I feel like flying from Toronto to Australia counts as really long distances. And I never went on a plane that was 2 floors with bedrooms and a pool.
Yeah, well, you probably also didn't pay that kind of money. I think I see a lot of them coming from like more like the UAE, like that kind of area.
Yeah, I feel like it makes more sense for planes like that to actually be short flights because
why you need a bedroom on a short flight?
For the Mile High Club. But like how can you have a pool filled with water and just take it around the planet? That seems like really unnecessary and stupid.
Maybe I was duped. I don't know. Maybe I dreamt it, but I feel like I saw a picture of it. It's like, you know, one of those times you're just swiping through Instagram. Feel like I saw it.
Well, maybe you did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Like a while ago. So
because okay, so for example, like helicopters have like the 2 propellers, right? One that goes this way and one that goes this way. And that creates a lift together to get things off the ground. But like, what does the plane do? It just goes fast and all of a sudden it just goes off of the ground and goes up into the sky and flies
around. Turbos just shoot out, I guess. Like a lot of force. But I also didn't know that about helicopters. I don't really understand anything that flies. Yeah, I don't know. They have those big like engines and I guess it just flows and pushes off.
But the thing about the engines is they probably weigh so much, right? So you'd think it would make it actually harder to fly. So it is definitely like partially the aerodynamics, which I don't also really understand, but the way it can cut through air with its shape to reduce the resistance.
That's like higher level shit, you know?
Literally like in the sky, that level.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so confusing and like it gets you places so fast. You don't even realize how fast you're actually traveling.
Sometimes I really like to just watch the map, like not even watch a movie, but just watch the map and watch the plane fly.
Yeah, I like that too. What's the longest flight you've ever been on?
14 hours.
When you went to Australia?
Yeah, coming home, actually going to Australia, it was like 12 and a bit.
Tailwinds.
Yeah, from San Francisco to Melbourne. And then coming home, I went Melbourne to LA and it was over 14 hours.
Wow.
The overall journey took actually like 20 something hours, but the longest length of flight that I was like in the single plane was 14 and a bit.
Did it feel like you were on a plane for 14 hours?
I find when I'm flying, it's like time is suspended.
Yeah.
Like not just my body and the plane are suspended, but like actually time stops. So I'm never sure, do I set my clock by the time that I left or the time that I'm arriving? Because it'll be a different time zone. And I don't know what time I should sleep or what time I should eat or anything like that based on what day and night are. Because you're in the sky, right? It's like very confusing. So I actually just sleep if I feel tired. I eat if they bring me food. I don't know. Like I just like don't
like a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
When I get on a plane, I return to my infant instincts.
I'm often asleep before takeoff. There's not gonna be snacks yet.
No.
Yeah.
I always sleep on planes.
Yeah. So it never feels like 14 hours, but I mean like, and you could work like a 14-hour day and sometimes it feels like incredibly long and sometimes it feels incredibly short, right? So
yeah, that's true.
It's hard to really judge time.
Yeah, and I guess it would depend on like the type of flight you're having too. If you're in like a very turbulent flight, I'm sure it would feel like 14 hours.
I love turbulence. It's like being on a roller coaster. I'm like, woo, woo. The worst though is like when it's mealtime and you're like, and you can't get your snacks in your mouth. Like, I'm serious.
You're like, that airplane's not working. My parents told me. I haven't eaten a meal on a plane in a long time because you used to get a meal every time you flew, but now like the last couple flights I've taken, I haven't been on a flight for more than I think like 5 hours.
You get like pretzels and a pop or something like that?
Yeah, I think like the longest flight, how long did it take us to go to San Francisco? Like just under 6 hours or something?
Yeah, I think we got like a cookie.
And that was like the furthest I've flown in a long time.
Yeah, I really like flying. I understand that there's a lot of people who are afraid of flying. My personal opinion is most likely the plane is not going to crash and I'm not likely going to die. If the plane is going to crash, I can't do anything about it. And so why would I spend like my last 4 hours of my life just sitting there panicking when I can just chill out?
That's true. Though I've only ever been like super scared on a flight once. Well, I mean, the first time I ever went on a plane, I was scared, but I was like 8. And so that was like just being a pussy little 8-year-old, you know? One time we were flying home from Cuba and we had a ton of turbulence, but it was like not like nice turbulence. And it was the only time I've ever been scared on a flight in my entire life. And absolutely nothing happens.
I relinquished time and I relinquish fear, I guess, and control. You can't control anything when you're on a flight. So you just sit there. It's so nice. You don't have to do anything. You can sit there for 14 hours and like your only responsibility is like, don't pee in your seat.
And even if you do, nothing would happen.
You'd be uncomfortable. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, it's been so long since we've been on a plane.
So long since I've had no worries like that. You know what I mean? Like where you're literally just suspended above the planet with no worries. It's so nice. Flying's the best. Once you land, it's like a whole new series of stresses. Like,
where am I? How do I get there? How do I get where I'm staying? I didn't look anything up because I don't do that.
Is my bag lost? Do I have a toothbrush? Where's my underwear? Do I speak the language? Like there's so many stressful things once you land, but
so many things. I don't love flying on this, like the really small planes, you know, the ones that are like the 2x2s. If you sit at the window, you have to sit like this the whole way.
That's because you have a tall torso. I don't.
Well, maybe that's why I don't like it. One time we were on a flight, we were going to Florida, but we had to stop in Washington, but it was so foggy, like to the point where we were on one of these small planes, we were sitting at the back and the flight attendant had a fold down chair and was sitting right beside us. And we were just like chatting with her. It felt like we were still in the clouds. And all of a sudden we were on the ground. And I was like, oh my God, where did the ground come from? And I was so delirious and so confused. And the flight attendant was like, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm just like really confused about how we got here.
That happened to me on my very first flight. I flew to Newfoundland and I was so excited to like see it as we were landing, and I didn't see anything, and all of a sudden we're already on the runway and I was like, that's disappointing, but all right. But I think almost always if there's a plane accident, it's during takeoff and landing. So honestly, like if you're in a plane, the safest place to be would either be like on the ground, obviously, or in the sky. Like that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else much up there that's going to cause a problem. Like maybe
Yeah,
a
you're not
lightning
gonna
bolt.
planes are not gonna crash into each other. There's far too much space.
Yeah. And they
Yeah.
have like flight paths and like they can talk to each other and coordinate things. So that's fine. It's just like the takeoff and landing, there's a lot more room for error and that can cause a crash.
Yeah, it is scary and it is a scary thing. I think that people get scared because it's if you do crash on a plane, the mortality rate is quite high. But it's still one of the safest ways to travel, they say. You're way more likely to get in a car crash. So right now they've like released a bunch of like really short flights, right? Like we have a lot of those from Toronto, which is really interesting. Like you can fly from the island airport to Muskoka, and it's to reduce traffic.
Is it just for time saving for people commuting, or is it actually more like carbon efficient?
I don't know. I guess it would depend on like how many people are using it versus like is it a full plane and like all these people would have been driving and now they're not, or are they like flying like I don't know,
Three
it's
people,
hard.
right? Like if it's like 3 people that are flying, then yeah, they should just take a car. But if
But
it's
yeah, I
like,
think it's like 40 minutes instead of 3 hours.
yeah, but like
The whole process probably takes 3 hours anyway. By the time you get to the airport, get on the plane, get all that stuff done.
like if you don't want to drive, if you don't want the headache of
Mhm.
driving,
Or if you don't know how to
Um,
drive, I guess.
or if you like have more than like a full carload of people or something like that. But like I've taken the bus and it's really
Yeah.
not that bad either.
I also just wonder, like, what do you do on the other side? Like, do you have to leave a car there? Does someone come pick you up? Like,
Yeah, how do you get to your cottage then, right?
because you would need a car,
And
really.
I feel like it can't be more environmentally friendly
No, I
either.
don't think so.
But if it means there's like a lot less cars on the road, maybe it is. Like I'm curious to know.
I think it's pretty new. Like, I think the first summer it launched was 2019. So I don't think that there's like enough data given
Mhm.
the circumstances, you know? I remember I did fly to Montreal once and that was really quick. It was like by the time you're in the air, you're like already
On the
on the
descent.
ground.
It's just takeoff and landing. See, that seems like
Yeah.
a dangerous flight.
Yeah.
The 14-hour flight, there's like the 20 minutes of takeoff, the 20 minutes of landing that are dangerous. And then like
Mhm.
another 13 hours and 20 minutes where you're totally fine.
Yeah. And this flight to Montreal was, I think, an hour and 10 minutes.
And the whole time you're at risk.
If you could get on a plane, go anywhere right now, where would you go?
I don't know if I could go anywhere right now. I would like to see my sister.
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe New Zealand though, because I've been to Australia before. So if
Mhm.
she also could just get on a flight at the same time and meet me somewhere, well, actually like quite a bit after me, but like same day, then then maybe we could both go to New Zealand. But if she couldn't get time off work, I would probably go to Australia.
Yeah, I think I would choose Australia also because I've always wanted to go. And I also would love to see your sister. That would be fun
Mhm.
once we all get our vaccines.
Yes.
Yeah, I like flying though. I never have had an issue. When I lived in Newfoundland, I flew back and forth all the time. It's like, I'm not scared. It's faster. Like, I get to come home and see my friends and my family. If I couldn't fly, then I wouldn't be able to do that.
I have taken so many buses in my life because it's cheaper than flying. As someone who usually has more time than money, buses are my jam. But flying's cool.
Do you get sick when you fly ever?
No.
Right? Yeah.
I'm
actually surprised I don't, but I don't.
I used to get severely motion sick, but it turns out it was just because my parents smoked in the car because, you know, in the 90s you could do that.
I would like to go on a little like putter plane and like go, or like a water plane or something, like a plane that lands on the water. That sounds pretty cool. Like I'd like to try those kind of things. Didn't you say before that your younger sister, the first time she ever went on a plane, it didn't land?
It did land. She wasn't on it.
Yeah.
The first time she flew, she was skydiving.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Just so extreme. Would you go skydiving out of a plane?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, would you?
I don't think so. I like to think that I would. I don't even like to do like high ropes courses. I get scared.
But high ropes courses, you don't have a person strapped on your back to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, that's true. They would have to jump out.
If you don't jump, they still jump. You have to go. Once you're up there in the plane, you have to jump out. You don't have a choice. And if you don't jump, your instructor jumps with you.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the thing.
wild.
That's the truth. I don't know if it's the truth.
I think I would just black out and pass out, and I'd just be like attached to this person.
Make sure you get photos.
I don't know. I might try it, but I would be so scared. I would be shitting my pants. I would like.
I think it's best to go to the bathroom before you go up there.
And wear a diaper, maybe.
Maybe. I don't think that we had very much insight on airplanes.
No, I don't think we know a lot about airplanes because it's hard. How do you guys know how airplanes fly?
Like a rocket ship just thrusts upward, right?
Yeah.
And then an airplane, it gets lift and then it gets lift off and then it goes for a while and then it has a drag. I think it's drag and then it slows down and then it lands, I think.
I didn't know any of those things. Yeah, I never understood how this big thing just floats in the sky. Like you essentially feel like you're floating.
You do.
And just remember, folks, you can still get a sunburn on a plane. So put your sunscreen on or close the shutters.
I don't think so. You can't even get a sunburn through car windows because they have UV protection. Or like you can, but it'd be harder. It'd be like when you get
It was
sunburn.
like, what?
When you wear sunscreen and you still get sunburn, that's like the same as like a car window, right? It's like it has UV protection. It says it right on the little sticker in the corner of the car window. Planes definitely have UV protection windows. I don't think I can get sunburnt on a plane.
I might.
If someone could get sunburnt on a plane, it would be you.
Well, let us know how you feel about planes because we don't understand them. If you have any more insight, background knowledge, we'd love to know.
How do they work? How do they fly? We didn't even talk about pilots or flight attendants. So like, those are very essential parts of flying.
Ray,
yes.
What are you drinking?
Today I'm drinking Cold Break IPA.
Ooh, I like that can a lot.
Mm-hmm. Is it a plane?
It's a boat, I think.
It's a boat with some flamingos. What are you drinking?
I am just drinking Coors Light today. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let us know how you feel about planes. Do you know how they work? Do you understand them? You can email us at justwonderingpodcast.ray@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram or DM us at just.wondering.podcast and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then maybe we'll be able to fly on our own because we'll be invincible.
Yeah, just...
Let me try. No. I didn't go anywhere.
No.